Hello everybody.
Hello everyone.
Back again.
Here we are. This is a small video to correct something that's been needed now for quite a few weeks. But we need to say something, and so we're going to say it. First of all, it's to do with the audit of file. A video I did a few weeks ago. It's had, I don't know, about 16,000 views at the moment, something like that. And
Destroying evidence.
Destroying evidence. Watchtower ordering the destruction of evidence of child abuse, sexual child abuse material. And what I did, I read that audited file verbatim. As it came off the sheet, I read it, and I was in possession of that particular information just literally for a few minutes before I was reading it onto YouTube. So it was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that, and for the vast majority of ex-witnesses, that's the first time they will have seen this audit of file too. There are a number of ex-elders out there that are aware of this audit of file, and it's something that apparently comes out every year. Fine, that's okay. So now we know. It's something that they do to clean up their files, and they talk about data protection, call whatever you want to do. There's a massive misplaced piece of vision here that needs to be talked about, and I intend to just say it as it is. First of all, let me get something else off my chest. To the individual out there, and you know who you are, we're not in tit for tat. I know who you are, so does Cora. And you wrote to a journalist, and you stopped that journalist from talking to me, who was already in dialogue with me regarding child sexual abuse and what information I had. You stopped that. Not only did you stop it, but you were almost encouraging this individual from the wording to not bother, that it was complicated cult stuff.
And you wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to leave it there.
And then you referred them to, quite bizarrely, to another website, which I found rather disturbing.
But no, it wasn't just a website, but it was another activist that he, in his words, was far more accurate and trustworthy than what we've been trying to do.
Well, the reason we're mentioning is that there is a cardinal sin with regards to this type of thing. When it comes to activism, all of us have one aim. Or should have one aim, regardless of even if we don't see eye to eye on a number of things. But if you've managed to get hold of a journalist that's willing to listen and wants information, you do not, on any account, try to scupper, destroy, smother, smear, slander another activist away from talking to that journalist. It's too precious to do that. And if you think about the type of material that we're discussing, when we have Watchtower on the ropes over their whole child abuse concealment, you did everybody a disfavour, and including yourself, and shame on you for doing that. Now, if you've got the bottle to come over here to the United Kingdom and talk to me face to face and sort this out, because I haven't spoken to you up to this point, and I'm looking into the camera's eye here, and I'm saying this, the only way that you can sort this out is to come over and tell me what the hell you thought you were doing when you did that. And maybe we can sort this out man to man and discuss it in a rational way. But no way will I accept you going behind my back or any of the other activists, because it wasn't just me you were doing it to. You were doing it to a whole team of activists that are working tirelessly to bring this to the attention of everybody out there in the world that will listen about how Watchtower, through the two-witness rule and above, conceal child rape and molestation. That said, going back to the audit of file. The audit of file is an instruction, and if you haven't seen the video, it's a couple of videos back on our history channel, on our YouTube, you can go and see it. And I read out there that they just want all correspondence destroyed. All correspondence. Now, we know here in the United Kingdom the Goddard inquiry is now up and running. 12 streams of inquiry. One of those streams of inquiry that will probably run for quite a few years Optimistically, they're looking at 5 years to have this concluded, and that is being optimistic. But one of those 12 streams is to do with faith groups. And in those faith groups, one minuscule part of that investigation will be the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society and all of the work that they are doing to conceal everything that we're trying to expose. So within that, there is a number of different facets that we have been working hard to make sure that the Goddard Inquiry know about, and including the Charities Commission as well, who are also doing their own independent inquiry into this. Now, the elephant in the room. There are a number, a very small group. There are many elders that are in complete agreement with what I've said and completely support what we've said as activists. Some of them are related to survivors. Now, as for the others, and you know who you are, if you feel that what we've said is unfair, which is what this one particular activist said, was unfair to Watchtower.
Unfair to Watchtower.
I'm being unfair to Watchtower? Really? Really? Then maybe you're missing the point completely. The elephant is in the room. Even when they do put the minimal, and I mean the minimal, amount of information inside a sealed envelope, because of the two-witness rule, when it comes to the Crown Prosecution Service, when it comes to the police, when it comes to social services, when it comes to the survivors themselves, with the lawyers working for them in the courts, that information disappears like a rabbit in a hat. It's just suddenly gone. Now, that's not me saying that. That's all of the above that I've just mentioned. They are all saying the same thing. Information is very hard to come by from the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society when a child is bringing forth a claim of rape or molestation. It just disappears. And that complies with the audit of file. And there's the elephant in the room. Do they put a little bit away in an envelope? Yes, they do.
Because they have to, by the whole audit of file reasonings. It's not just the charities, it's not just Jehovah's Witnesses that have to destroy things. But when it comes to absolute crucial pieces of information, and especially when it comes to child abuse cases or molestation cases, they're supposed to keep minutes, notes, anything to do, emails, anything to do with that. All goes into an envelope.
Why? Because it's a crime.
And that is a letter from the Goddard Inquiry, direct instructions to all organisations not to get rid of any of those, even those little tiny bits of information, because that's critical.
And especially correspondence, especially names, accusations, all of those things, whether guilty or not, they need to be brought out and they need to be investigated by the professionals. And has the Watchtower repudiated? Has it done that? Has it repudiated that particular order from the Goddard Inquiry in this country? No. The order still stands. And circuit overseers, as we speak today, in February, right up to August of 2016, will be inspecting the files to make sure that they are squeaky clean. So the elephant in the room is a very clear one. Nobody can miss it if you open up your eyes and say, oh, there it is. The information goes missing. And that's what we were trying to get at.
We'll take you back to the Royal Commission, when the Australian Royal Commission, when they were doing everything they were doing last summer, with regards to the whole child abuse cases they were looking at, and when they had Jeffrey Jackson on the stand. The elders that were being interviewed, their common and overall comments were, I can't remember.
Can't recall.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. Yes, we have to destroy that information. And yet the actual people, the prosecutor and all of the people that were talking to these elders and saying what happened and where did that information go, the excuse was, we don't like our wives to get their hands on it, or we don't like this to get their hands on it, blah, blah, blah. They came up with every excuse under the sun. It wasn't good enough for the Royal Commission. Oh. The point is, when it comes to child abuse cases and accusations of anything to do with that, you, Watchtower, go out and above and beyond to try and cover everything up. You won't even have the accusation and the name of the person in the same letter.
No, you won't.
You have to have one. Your instructions were one or the other. You do the minimal, absolute minimal that you absolutely can, and you use the auditor for file as an excuse to be able to destroy information that actually, when it comes to legal matters and very important issues like child abuse, it doesn't mean that particular cases and that particular situation. And the particular Goddard inquiry, the Goddard letter that came through recently, was instructions to organisations to keep everything. To keep everything. So you can't use those excuses, oh, we have to do it. No. It's by data protection.
The authorities are saying keep everything.
Everything.
Not us, the authorities.
Yeah.
The letters out there, June 2001, 2014, 2012, all of these letters, bodies of elders letters, that make it very explicitly clear how they are to not cooperate with the authorities, that they are to hinder, block doors, do whatever you need to do. Don't let them in. Even when they've got search warrants, do whatever you can to delay it.
Yeah.
This is stuff that's very real.
We've got all of the letters. We know exactly what it is we're talking about.
It's out there. And the authorities know this now. And so these inquiries are very important, because the Goddard inquiry, when it asks specifically that this information is not destroyed, it's doing that for a reason. It's saying we need to investigate your policies and procedures because they are, in Watchtower's terms, completely flawed. And they do not give the justice that the survivors are requiring. So that is what I was getting at in my previous video about the destruction of evidence. And I stand by what I said.
Absolutely.
Was it misleading? No. Because the elephant in the room says that even when it gets to court, not me saying it, but all of the authority levels and all their different categories, including the Australian Royal Commission, would say it very clearly that the evidence is so clear
that they're destroying
you
evidence.
get rid of the evidence. And that's why so many of those elders in the Royal Commission, Australian Royal Commission, could sit there going,
don't remember.
I don't know. Nothing to do with me. I can't recall.
Now you imagine,
I can't recall.
If you imagine that being a court case where a victim was in court trying to seek justice for the things that had happened to them, and the elders were asked to come up and give evidence because they were the ones handling the case at the time. If those pieces of information are not kept and they've got to rely on human memory, those elders are not, they may remember, but their instructions are not to communicate those memories. They're to say, I don't remember, I don't recall, I'm not sure. And so evidence, physical evidence, like notes, like minutes, like emails, like different things like that, are critical when it comes to a person getting justice for the abuse they've suffered.
Yeah.
So nothing should be destroyed when it comes to that.
No.
Nothing.
Wow.
Especially when you've had instruction to not destroy it.
Yeah. Fair to Watchtower? Do me a favour. Do me a favour.
Yeah.
Do you try telling that to all of the survivors that have come out and are about to come out, and there are many more that have yet to put their hand up and be brave enough. And what they need is they need a support network around us of those that will support them, that will be advocates for them, that will have their back when they're coming forward. And the last thing they need is to hear people saying, we're not being fair to Watchtower. I'm sorry, those days are well and truly gone.
Yeah.
And if we need to get it out there and be upfront with it, then we will do that, and we will continue to do that. So that's what we wanted to say. The elephant in the room, I hope, is a little bit clearer now, that most people can see how pink, purple and white it is, and realise that what we're getting at is Watchtower destroys evidence en masse. And
they've now been instructed not to.
By the authorities, but they haven't repudiated that. They haven't gone out of their way to say, whoa, brakes on, lads. All of that stuff that we said before in the auditor file, now you need to start recording and keeping absolutely everything.
When it comes to situations like this.
And have they done that? Is it just a big wall of silence coming from Watchtower?
And I'll tell you how passionate we are in this country at the moment about this particular issue. There's a number of local activists Katie Kitten being one of them, Louise Good, Alison Boniface, I will say your names, John Viney, Karen Morgan, who have physically gone into the Kingdom Halls with this documentation showing clearly that the Goddard Inquiry has instructed the elders not to destroy information, and taken along the audit file letter that they've been given, along with the Goddard Inquiry instructions not to destroy evidence, and also supplying evidence within articles written up by magazines and newspapers that of court cases where it showed lack of evidence, which was shown that they destroyed evidence with regards to certain cases, because this has happened more than once on numerous occasions, with regards to particular situations of child molestation. So they're going passionately into places and showing that this is not good. This is not something that the elders locally or anywhere else in the world should be doing. They should be opening their eyes and realising that their instructions from the head office are wrong, and that you should not be listening blindly to your governing body about destroying evidence, because it's going to come back on you as individuals.
And even in those states in America where they have mandatory reporting, for instance, they still go straight to the legal department first. So we would advise anybody now, don't trust Watchtower at all. If you've got information regarding child abuse, or you know of a fresh allegation of child abuse, then you go straight to the professionals and let them deal with it. There's nothing to hide here. Get it out in the open and let the professionals deal with it. And not Watchtower and the skullduggery that goes on between the legal department, who are only looking after themselves and trying to avoid the vicarious liability of being accused of, supporting of, the two-witness rule, and all of those awful things that stop a child from gaining the justice that they so rightly deserve.
Absolutely.
It's really all I wanted to say on the subject.
We've been meaning to do this video for a long time, so hopefully that's cleared that up now. And so anyone out there that is trying to scupper and support Watchtower in hiding these facts and these different things that are going on, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
Wake up, turn the light bulbs on and get back on track, and help us all as activists expose this. Watchtower are on the ropes. They know damn well they are. And we are now making a case that's very clear. All of us, not Mark Latham and Cora, all of us as a team around the world that are coming together fervently to make it clear that we will not go away until they've changed their policies, until they bring it up to standard
and protect
with how
the
world sees
and
it,
protect
and
others.
start protecting their own kids from within.
Absolutely.
That's all we got to say on the subject, really.
Yep.
Thank you for listening.
Take care for now.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.